This is a Sunlu S1 Plus filament dryer. You might have seen Ricky and Pei's video where he did a few upgrades that enabled putting a fan here that allows you to add proper ventilation to your filament dryer. I went ahead and took that one a step further and added a node MCU that will enable controlling the overall fan based on temperature and humidity readings from this humidity sensor, and using this relay that will control the fan itself. If you have this filament dryer or want to do some upgrades or want to take the original upgrade a step further, then watch this video. I'll be focusing on the upgrades I did, so if you want to learn more about the original upgrades, make sure to watch Ricky's videos. I'll link them in the description. Now, the reason I went with a node MCU is because I wanted to track the drying process live. Here I have a dashboard and you can see temperature, humidity, and dew point as it progresses over time, as well as the live stats for dew point, total drying time, fan cycle completed, etc, etc. More on this later. So this is the circuit. Here you have the 24 volt power input that comes with the Sunlu S1 filament dryer. You can see that here's the ground and 24 volts that comes from that. And I went ahead and tie in there to ground my 24 volt fan. And then I went ahead and sent the power from those 24 volts to go through a relay. This is a 3 volt logic relay. The output of that on the normally closed pin goes to the fan, and common goes to the 24 volt power supply. And then on the logic side, we connect to a node MCU. So this is the ground of the node MCU on the ground terminal of the relay. The logic, we will connect to D5 on the node MCU, and the VCC goes through a 3.3 volt pin on the node MCU. The node MCU operates on 3.3 volts, so that's why we had to use a 3 to 3.3 volt relay. And here we have our temperature and humidity sensor, where I'm connecting ground to ground on the node MCU and 3.3 volt to the 3.3 volt terminal. And then I'm using D1 and D2 to communicate with I2C. And then the node MCU I power through the USB terminal. First, I'll use that to send the code, and then to power up, I'll just use the USB cable and connect it to a wall outlet with the proper adapter. Alright, so we're going to jump straight into testing a roll of ABS that I've used a little bit. We see we got 1 kilogram and 91 grams. So let's go ahead and set this one up in the dryer. Go ahead and add the blocker that they have so the humidity doesn't leave, and I want to fully enclose this. I'm not pulling a filament coming out, so I'm using some HVAC tape at the top. Set up the dryer and we'll get going. Set it up to 55C and I'll start heating up. We can go into the dashboard and we can see that we're making progress with the temperature going up. We have humidity and dew point. The reason I'm using dew point is relative humidity is temperature dependent. You can see here as the temperature climbs, relative humidity goes down because hotter air can absorb more moisture. So that's why it goes down. But the dew point is the temperature at which if you cool down that air, you would see moisture condensing. So dew point going up implies that the overall moisture is increasing on the air. So as we see, eventually it gets kind of flat. To me, that's an indication that we're not extracting as much moisture from the filament. So that is, for me, a trigger then to go ahead and kick in the fan. So we have a table where we'll define when to turn on the fan. I'll talk about that more later, but you can see then that the dew point comes down, and then we can trigger that every so often based on the logic that we put in the node MCU. So then I'll take it out and let's go ahead and weigh it. And we can see we drop 3 grams of water from this drying process. Now within the dashboard, there's a table that displays the levels, minutes, dew point that define the logic at which we discharge the air within the filament dryer. The way this works is after the first 20 minutes of the drying process, we have reached a dew point of 45 degrees. The fan will operate for 2 minutes and discharge the air. If that doesn't happen, it'll wait until it's 40 total minutes and see if the trigger dew point of 42.5 has reached. You can continue so on all the way until you get to the 12th level, which says that after 2.5 hours, if the dew point is 25 degrees Celsius, then go ahead and run the fan. You can go ahead and change these as needed. Here I'm showing the ones I'm going to run for the second test, and I'll show you how I made the edit within the Arduino code. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and update the temperatures and times, and also the subsequent logic, which basically what it does is that wherever you discharge last at that temperature is the same one that you will do for the next cycle. And the time logic will be based on the same one for the first cycle. So if the first cycle was every 20 minutes, the next one will start again at 20 and so on. So now let's go ahead and run some tests with some TPE. Again, load it again. I'll still have it equally sealed as before. and we'll get started. Again, this is the logic that I use for the TPE. I try to make it a bit more aggressive, changing faster between cycles and having a different temperature profile than what I use for ABS. We'll get this one going, and fairly quickly I see that the dew point is kind of like flattening out. Alright, I wasn't getting the temperatures I wanted, so we got some good blankets and a towel on top of this thing, and we'll see how high it goes. To feel after making the change, you can clearly see a change in slope, but over time it just starts to flatten out again, and we did do a discharge, but I'm not fully convinced. Let's go ahead and take it out. And we can see we lost a whole gram. After having done this test, one thing I might consider for the future is putting some logic that instead of following some random table, that actually looks at the rate of change of dew point as the drying process takes place. The dew point is not increasing. That tells me that I'm not adding more moisture into the chamber, meaning I'm not extracting water from the filament, meaning that I'm not making progress. Either I'm done or I need to discharge air to get drier air back in, heat that up, have a delta between the moisture or the vapor pressure around the filament and the one in the air, and to continue extracting water from the filament. That is something that I'll think for the future. For now, I'm now going to go ahead and show you how I made these changes on the machine. After removing the heating plate like in the original video, I went ahead and soldered ground and a 24-volt cable to the 24-volt terminal. I then went ahead and make sure to add shrink tubing to protect the cable. I made sure to also drill a hole in the back and 2 holes for attaching this 3D printed enclosure, which I also added threaded inserts to. I'll have a link in the descriptions for the 3D printed parts as well as some of the other components that I used in this project. After running the cable through, I went ahead and I screwed on the enclosure. That's how it should look so far. Then cut the excess cable, peel off the cable, and I went ahead and put some silicone to avoid all that moisture getting into the relay. I then went ahead and make sure to plug the 4 cables coming out of the front of my S Plus filament dryer. Once they're all out, I went ahead and secured the heating plate, put the rollers into the right slots, and then connect the 4 wires into the printed circuit board. Now, if you don't have a S1 Plus, you'll only see 3 terminals. The other one I have is for a circulation fan that comes with the S1 Plus. So then, just go ahead and secure that to the frame. And then snap on the front lid. Alright, good to go. I'm gonna drill a back hole to route the power cables from my 24-volt fan. This one is one I reused from an old 3D printer that I wasn't gonna use anymore, but you can buy one new as needed. I'll have a link in the description, like I said. So then you want to connect that into the relay and then make sure that the cable can enable still to open and close the filament dryer lid without causing too much tension and unplugging any of the wires. So then this is how it should look, which should match the circuit drawing that we looked at earlier. Alright, so next I'm going to set up my sensor block for the humidity sensor. I'll set up some threaded inserts so that I can attach the sensor to the block and also the block to the lid on my filament dryer. So you heat up the threaded insert, push it through. If you have never seen this before, pretty simple. After that, I run the wires through the slot on the block and screw my sensor to the top portion of the block. Then I use the sensor block to kind of like eyeball it, and then I just went ahead and screwed the block to the lid. And then as you can see, it fits well and it does not obstruct with the roll. So next I 3D printed the enclosure for the Node MCU and I set it up on the lid. Again, I used the holes from the part to estimate where to drill the holes in the lid. I then routed the cables that are meant to go in the Node MCU from the sensor as well from the relay and connected them accordingly, matching the circuit that we looked at earlier in this video. After connecting them all, go ahead and set the part on some cylinders that are within the 3D printed parts so it snaps in place, and then close the lid. Now that we have it all set up, the next step will be to test the fan. So first I'm going to provide the 24 volt and connect my Node MCU via USB. So you can see here is the relay, and I have this code where when I type on via the serial monitor, the fan will turn on. I hit enter. You can see the relay turns on and the fan immediately turns on. You can see the other inlet lets air in such that we don't create a vacuum inside the dryer. And if I open it up, like I said, I'm using an old fan from my 3D printer. So yeah. And then if I type off, it should turn off. And if I type on again, it should go ahead and turn on again. So we're done doing this test, and now we can move on into testing the actual humidity sensor. So let's close this up and move on. Alright, now we're going to move on into setting up the sensor. So first, we're going to go to the library manager and download the Adafruit Unified Sensor. So go ahead and click install. And then Adafruit BME 280. Make sure to install everything. Then go to examples, Adafruit BME 280, and open the bottom one. Make sure to go to the board manager and pick the ESP8266 generic module, and then just go ahead and run it. Now, if you get an error like the one shown below, you might have to run an I2C scanner to ensure that you have the right address. In the blog post, I'll have a code for that. Anyways, after running the code myself, I realized that the address I need is 0x76, and I'll go ahead and rerun the code. And after running the code, we can see that we're successfully getting temperature, pressure, approximate altitude, and humidity measurements. We're only going to be using the temperature and humidity and using those two to calculate the dew point like I showed you earlier. So now you can just take the code for the optimized dryer, put it in the Node MCU, and you're ready to use the full filament dryer with the upgrades. I must say, looking back, I don't know that I would have bought this filament dryer. However, I already had it, so I did the upgrades that I just showed you. If I had to start again, I might have gotten something else. For sure, something that would have gotten to like 70 degrees Celsius or higher. So if you want to make sure you can dry a wider range of materials, don't get this one. If you already have this one, maybe you should give it a try and do this upgrade. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.